continue the class, that is the deep sea organisms and their adaptations. Right? What are the adaptations? Okay, their body size and their color and the body shapes and their skeleton, and here forming of the how they get the food and the feeding habitats, and another important one, that is the bioluminescence phenomena, especially in crustaceans. This bioluminescence is more and more developed, right? And some organisms, not only the crustaceans and cephalopods and fishes also is there, cephalopods, crustaceans, cephalopods and some fishes. This bioluminescence can well develop. What is the use of bioluminescence? The users, okay, it is helping for the attractions of opposite sex, performing their mating and producing of the new offspring. And another one is it is attracting the prey, attracting the opposite sex. Right, ma'am? The female have either the male organisms have the bioluminescence power. They can slowly come to the male or the female organism. They can attract it. Okay, and these bioluminescence light will be attracting the prey. The prey slowly comes near, very close to this organism. This is catch to them. Right? That's what the bioluminescence. Light producing organs. Light producing organs. And next, here another one is this. Other adaptations. Okay? Other adaptations. In this other adaptations means, okay, the eyes. Already we see, eyes are very small in size. The concave mirror is present. Okay, and next one is tactile organs are very well developed. Tactile. Alright, ma'am. The organs are tactile organs which responds to the touch. Those are known as tactile organs are well developed. And next one, the strong is very straight. Okay, ma'am. Strong teeth, strong dentition is also present, and also they have a special type of, right, ma'am? They have a special type of jaws. The jaws are very strong. Here, loss of mastication. Some organisms are blind. Some organisms are blind. Here, parental care is well marked. Parental care is well marked. Right. And some deep sea organisms are viviparous. Viviparous. Which means they can produce their offsprings directly. Okay? Directly they give a birth to the young ones. Those organisms are called viviparous. Right, ma'am? These are some are viviparous, and loss of the power of mastication is lost, and some the parental care is well marked. So these about the deep sea organisms adaptation. The adaptations of deep sea organism, their body size, shape and coloration, and next one they are taking the food, their motionless movement, and some have the very large inside, and some are very small and delicate in structures. Okay, this is all about the deep sea organisms and their adaptations. Okay, let us discuss another topic in this session, that is seaweeds. Okay, ma'am? The topic is 3.4 seaweeds. Right. The unit 3, another topic is seaweeds. Here, what is weeds? Okay, ma'am? In our terminology, kalpomokkal. The seaweeds is an organisms which are grow with the food of fishes. Which are already grow with the food of fishes, which grow the along with the food fishes, and pose problems relating the food of fishes. This is the weeds. Seaweeds. Seaweeds are the organisms which are grow along with the food of fish, food fishes, and there can also be having some special type of problems having they excuse me. These organisms, seaweeds, grow with the fish food, and it is also causes some special type of problems with these fish foods. Those are called seaweeds. Okay, ma'am. Here the seaweeds number. When seaweed number will increases enormously in the pond, right, ma'am? When these seaweeds are increases enormously in the pond with the addition of fertilizers, in preparing the fish pond. Why? Because we said here the preparation of fishy cultures. Okay, ma. Here the fishy culture is there. Which type of fishes are growing in this sea? That is marine fishes, ma. Shellfish. Okay. Fin fisheries, fishery cultures is there. Already we have discussed that in applied zoology, the fishy culture. Okay, fishy culture. And that's why here the preparing of fish pond, the farmer can use more and more fertilizers. These fertilizers are causes to growing of high number of these seaweeds. That's why avoiding of these seaweeds, especially in these the sea can categorized into some divisions regions here. Those are simply, okay, ma'am, that is nectons, planktons, newton, okay, submerged organisms here, right? Just I'm right here, ma'am, planktons, and next emerge, right? Emerge. The next one is submerge, and next one is submerged plants, emerged, and planktonic plants, and floating plants, and next one is here nectons and newtons. Okay, these all are have the serious problem as words organisms to the fishy culture ponds. These all are right, ma'am. If the plankton growth is in high, okay, these are most important and necessary to growing of a fish in the fishy cultures or the growing ponds. These planktons plays an important role. But here the high number of these planktons or the nectons or the newtons, they can lead or cause some disturbance to the growing of the fishes, right? These about the nectons, and this poses serious problems as weeds organisms in the fishy culture ponds. Here the seaweeds have some specific advantages and disadvantages to the fishy cultures. Okay, ma'am. Seaweeds have advantages and disadvantages for the purpose of these fishy culture natures. Okay, let us discuss with these advantages. What are the advantages is there? Right, ma'am? The advantages are in this fishy culture. Sorry, the weeds, the seaweeds. Those advantages and disadvantages. Right, ma'am? Planktons. In the forming of these seaweeds advantages, that the disadvantages, right? Which are helpful to growing. Okay, that's why here the first one is the advantages. Plankton forms, right, ma'am? The plankton forms the main important nutrition food. The main important nutrition food for growing fishes. Food for the growing fishes. Which one, ma'am? Planktons. That the first one, that is planktons have growing number. Okay, these planktons can grow in a natural number. These number can helpful. These are the necessary to growing in the fish pond. Why? Because these are the one of the best food for the fishes. The fish growing depend upon the plankton growth. That's why here the plankton forms the main nutritive food for the growing fishes. This is the main nutrients food for the growing fish. Food for the right now. This is the first advantages. And another one is the water plants and some molluscan shells. Water plants and some molluscan shells. Molluscan shells are useful to attaching of the eggs, fish's eggs. These are useful. Water plants and the molluscan shells are useful. How to attachment of eggs. Right now, if the fish releases the eggs in water, those eggs can come and slowly attach to these plants, and another one the molluscan shells. And next important one is that where the fishes, right now, where the fishes is there, these wild animals also feed upon planktons. Okay, wild animals also feed on the plankton. So this is another one. This is come at the disadvantage. Okay, let us talk about us in this topic, that is advantages. The fish's hide. Okay, if there is an advantage, this is an seed. Here the eggs, fish's eggs come and attach. Okay, right? Planktons, the main source of feeding, is an important nutrient for the fish. Important nutrition food for the planktons. And another one, it is hide. Okay, hide The another point is the hide of the fishes from the predators. Right. Here very well the lower planktons and seaweeds is there now. In the growing of this is one of the shelter. These beds act as a shelter of the little organisms or little fishes which are protected from the large fishes. Right now, this is also. And one more important point here, the carnivorous carps. Carnivorous carps can depend these bird feed. Carnivorous carps. Another one advantage is carnivorous carps or depend upon the seaweeds. Carnivorous carps or depend upon the seaweeds, fishes for their food. Okay, next one, that the submerged plants. Submerged plants like hydrilla. This hydrilla most useful now. This is a submerged plant. This hydrilla can release in the hydrilla is one of the important one, and it helps to increase in the dissolved oxygen percentages. Okay, it increases the dissolved oxygen percentages to doing of this photosynthesis process. In the photosynthesis process. And next one here, the releasing of a high values in the oxygens. This hydrilla is fully synthesized with the food by the process, and next it releases the high volumes of dissolved oxygen into the water. That's why this idea is more and more important. This is a submerged seabed. And next one, that is that by feeding over harmful, right ma, by feeding over harmful bacteria and other pathogens, the weed organisms can controlling the other organisms. Okay, it is also another most important advantage, that is the organism is, if the bacteria number is increases or some order, okay, these are also be controlling of the other organisms. And next one, thus web organisms, right now, thus the web organisms help the fish farmer either productivity, their pond productivity will be increases, which the seawards are growing in a limit number or a limited in manner. It can yield a good productivity on the fish farmers. And next, another one is the disadvantages. Is it okay, ma? Advantages means where the planktons are the main food for the nutritive food for the growing fishes in the fishy pond, and water plants and some molluscan shells are useful to attaching the fish eggs. Okay, ma? If the water body is there, in the water body, the seaweeds, some water plants and some molluscans, their shell is useful to attaching of the these eggs, fishes eggs. And next one, to hide of the fishes. But the small fishes is there, were just coming out from the eggs. Those are the fingerlings. These fingerlings can protecting themselves to hide in this curves of the weeds. And next one, the carnivorous carps also one of the best organisms which are completely depend upon to eating on the seaweeds. And next, the submerged plants. In the submerged plants, hydrilla is most important. It is producing the higher volumes of dissolved oxygen into the water pond. That's why the increasing of or the sufficient dissolved oxygen is more and more useful to the organisms, the fishes. Okay, and this is about the advantages. And next, the disadvantages. Disadvantages of seaweeds. Okay, if their growth is increasing the high numbers, their growth increases. Okay, where the small water pond, the farmer can prepare the pond for the fishiculture. He use some fertilizers or some manures. These manures and fertilizers are causes to high growth of these seaweeds. That's why the high growing of the or the increasing of the number and enormously, the water body should containing of these seaweeds in highly number. These seaweeds are consumptions of very or a high amounts of dissolved oxygen. That's why the remaining organisms can fight or can face problem for the respiration, right ma? Okay, if the organisms, these seaweeds are growing numerously and enormously in the pond, these are utilizing the excess of oxygen in the pond, right? That's why the remaining fishes or the remaining organisms can face the problem for this oxygen, for the respiration. Okay. Okay, the first point or most important one, that is, if the seaweeds are growing numerous or huge number on the pond, okay, in the pond, that's why the consumption, they use the dissolved oxygen. That's why the pond can get the less amounts of dissolved oxygen is percentages. That's why these are can't useful or can't helpful the remaining other organisms. They can fight with the respiratory. Okay, ma'am. Dissolved oxygen. Our first disadvantage is dissolved oxygens. Oxygen percentage will be when the seabeds increases in pond. Right, ma? This is the first disadvantage. Dissolved oxygen percentage will be decreases when the seabeds increases in the pond. That's why the oxygen deficiency is occurs. The oxygen deficiency is occurs. The remaining organism will go to the die. This is the first disadvantage. And second one is, okay, here these seabeds are growing the large number. They are occupies the space. That's why here another fighting within the organisms about the place. Okay, occupies the space by the seabeds. It is also the less space is not suitable for the growing fishes, right? And it is another disadvantage. And next one is these kelps, by their enormous growth, they occupy the wide area or the large area. They occupy the space. Which space? Wide space or large space. This large space, when they are occupied, the remaining organisms will suffer with have a free movement. Right, ma? That's the disadvantage. And another one, weight. Animals also feed upon plankton organisms and hence create a competition to the food crops. Right, ma? These are also eat some the planktons. That's why these planktons are one of the best food resource for the fishes. That's why here the competition is formed. Competition is formed by when the growing of a high number of these seabeds. And another disadvantage is by absorbing oxygen. We already discussed, that is the dissolved oxygen percentage will be decreases here. And next one here, there in the disadvantages of the water material. If the kelps are formed, the water material can possess in these seabeds are in the colors of green, brown, red in colors, Phaeophyceae, Xanthophyceae, such a type of plants. For example, in these seabeds, their coloration, their waste material will be slowly fallen into the water ponds. This can give a coloration to the water. The dark or the turbidity also be increases. If the turbidity will increases, the sunlight cannot penetrate it. Right, ma? The turbidity will be increases. The sunlight cannot penetrate it into the regions. That's why the plankton growth and also remaining metabolic activities are not sufficient occurs on the other organisms. That's why it is also one of the disadvantage of these seabeds. The seabeds are grown and their waste materials are fall down in the water and the decomposers do their action and the water gets some turbidity. This turbidity or not the clearance or not transparency of water is not suitable for the which water plants is there, ma. They can't do their process, that is a photosynthesis process. That's why it is one of the disadvantage in the seabeds. Ultimately affect the production of the capacity of the pond. That's why the fishes also cannot grow, right? And smooth netting is not possible. If their number is increases in their pond, there is a smooth netting is not occurs. For example, we are the fisherman. We use a net. When we make the net is totally fall down by the seaweeds. How we collected the fishes? It is also a large problem to the fisherman. And next one here, the waste materials from these scalps and seaweeds are also the heavy deposition of cellulose also enter into the gills of the fishes. Okay, enter into the gills of the fishes. This cause so many respiratory diseases and some fishes are died. That's why the pond capacity, the pond productivity can be decreases or loss. The fisherman can get the loss from the high growing of these seaweeds. And fishes can breathe only in warm water. This is one more important point, ma. The fishes can breathe only in warm water. But if the seaweeds are grow in high number, okay, they are completely occupy the area, okay, the sunlight can't penetrated into the remaining the bottom waters. For example, this is a seaweed, ma. Okay, these are seaweeds. These seaweeds here totally occupies the water levels. Okay, here the sun can produce the light. The light come and stop here only. Light come and stop this here. They can't penetrate up to this region. That's why this water only get the warm. But here the water cool in nature. That's why this cool water is not suitable for the breeding sessions of the fishes. That's why also the pond carrying capacity will be dropped. Okay, is it clear? Right, ma. And another disadvantages of the fishes can breathe only in warm water. This warming is not possible to ponds, whether enormously growing of these seaweeds. Okay, and birds disturb the balance of environment. Birds, what the name? These birds are the disturb the balance between the physico-chemical factors. Okay, ma'am. Another disadvantage is these birds are disturbed the physico and chemical characters, right? Chemical characteristics. That's why here the seaweeds have both advantages and disadvantages. If these seaweeds are growing in a proper manner, this can useful the fisherman, and also the pond capacity will be grown and the fisherman can get a good yield from the pond. But when they grow in more and more in number or enormous in number, it causes so many damages to the fisherman or the water pond. Next, the weed plants and weed plants of culture ponds. Okay, how these weed plants are which are growing on the culture ponds. Which type of plants can grow in the culture pond? Let us discuss the topics. Seabeds can grow. Okay, ma'am. Wet plants of culture ponds. Weed plants, seaweed plants, weed plants of culture ponds. WE, right, ma'am? WEE, weed plants, seaweed plants of culture ponds. Which type of seaweeds is there? For example, there are the phytoplanktons and partial aquatic plants and total aquatic plants and floating plants, and the shore plants are common in the culture ponds. Right, ma'am? What are the types is there? Weed plants. Okay, that is the planktons, which are the phytoplanktons, which are grown on the surface. Phytoplanktons. Next one, ma'am. Another one is the partial aquatic plants. Partial aquatic plants and complete aquatic plants. Okay, and next one here, the completely, they are completely totally total aquatic, not complete either it is or that is total aquatic plants or complete aquatic plants, they are merged. Okay, and next floating plants, floating plants. And what the another one, shore plants, seashore, shore plants, and are common in the culture ponds which are present in these cultures. Such type of plants are present in these regions. Okay, especially now we discuss about these phytoplanktons, right ma? The phytoplanktons. These phytoplanktons, let us discuss these phytoplanktons are consisting phytoplanktons of consisting, which are what are the plants. We can give an example of these phytoplanktons, that is blue green algae, right now, blue green algae. Blue green algae, these phytoplanktons are consist of blue green algae and brown and green algae, brown and green algae, another one. And next, okay, which organisms, those are all and some bacteria, some volvox and Spirogyra, and some the bacteria, Nastaka, Anagina, such type bacteria. Okay, and these Edogonium and okay, Oscillariums, so and so are the example of these phytoplanktons. These phytoplanktons are consist of this type of organisms: blue green algae, brown and green algae, volvox, which is the colonial, Spirogyra, and some bacteria. Okay, these are the phytoplanktons, and these phytoplanktons forms a favorable and natural food for the fishes. These are the favorable and they providing a good food, good nutrition food for the fishes, right now, good nutrition foods for the both fry and fingerlings, both the fry and fingerlings. Fry means this is the fish egg when it hatch and come out the young ones. Fry and fingerlings, which the fishes can get this size, they are known as fingerlings. These the eggs can hatch and come out the young ones, those are known as fry. That's why these phytoplanktons are a good food for these both fry and fingerlings in the culture pond. Okay, thank you. Let us discuss another class in another